Hello everyone, it is me. It is Selena Spooky Boo, the spooky lady from the internet. Don't yell at me for not doing spooky stuff, spooky content this year. Understand I had a baby. I get one free pass, okay? I'm gonna do a lot of spooky stuff once he's a little bit older. But honestly, I just couldn't leave him. Freaked me out, didn't like it, wasn't fun. But we love spooky stuff all year. People always ask me, do you decorate for Halloween? What do you do for Halloween? And I say, I'm Halloween all year. So when Halloween comes around, it's like, look at all these posers. I'm kidding. If it brings you joy, do it. But you're probably wondering, why are you sitting here? Why are we doing a sit down video? Why do you have your mic? Oh no, she's gonna cry. I am gonna cry. Probably. I'm gonna try not to. But I'm going to talk about what it has been like to be a mommy for the past 7 weeks and all of the trials and tribulations and a lot of the really hard moments. I feel like the one thing that sets me apart from a lot of creators is I am super candid and super honest about the things that I go through. I don't want to just be like, oh my God, it's all like magic and it's all like perfect and he smiles and I melt. That stuff happens. But I have had a lot of hard moments. There's been a lot of things that have happened in these weeks that kind of set things back, kind of put things in perspective. I know that I've talked, on the podcast and stuff at length about how I felt like after he was born and how I was so sick, but kind of the things that ended up happening in those next few weeks. And it's been a really hard time. I was sharing Remy on the internet there for a little bit. My plan was to show him for 3 months, because he was just so small. And honestly, I feel like most babies until they're 3 months old kind of look the same. I see a lot of babies still and I'm like, oh my God, Adam, look, this could literally be our baby. But that got ruined and it got ruined fast and it got ruined in kind of like a really gross way that felt really impersonal and just made me so mad. So I have a Facebook page and the Facebook page is, I post there a lot and I realized that somebody had been commenting on all of people's posts saying like, hey, I made this Facebook and this Instagram for my baby. I should have safeguarded his name for whatever, but used his name to open accounts saying that these are his accounts and this is where I'm going to be posting this content of him. And not only had there been one account, there was probably about, I think the amount that I know there's more than this, but I'd seen 5 accounts that were made just after my son, just about him, and they were posting photos of him, and then they were like doing AI photos of him in different scenarios, and they were like posting as me and like talking about different stuff. One of them was like saying slightly inappropriate things. It was really gross, and it made me so mad because like I waited for this baby for 12 years. I wanted to share like a tidbit of him. I felt like, everybody kind of deserved to see him because we all worked together so hard to bring him into the world. But at the same time, I know that the internet is a horrifyingly gross place. And I've had so many moms kind of reach out to me over these past couple weeks and tell me different scenarios that they were in. And us living in the public eye has been really different. And that's been something that's really crazy interesting because Adam brought it up a couple months before Remy was born. And he was like, Remy's going to live like a bit of a different life because, and I'm going to be so truthful, honest, and transparent with you right here. I'm not being like, oh my God, this happens, but this is the truth. Okay. Say I go to a mall. Say I'm at the mall for an hour. I will probably meet 20 people. I'll probably have 20 people to 50 people come up. Sometimes it's more, sometimes it's less. It can be kind of crazy. People want to take pictures. People want to take pictures of him. With the one time that we went to the mall, but I do meet a lot of people and I kind of forgot how that would be for him. I'm sure it'll die out over the years as, everybody kind of fades away into oblivion. I will not, universe. I love my friends. Don't let my friends forget me. But I want to circle back because this has been 7 weeks. We are 7 weeks and a couple days into being a mom, and it has been the most beautiful, most amazing, most terrifying, most stressful, most anxiety-ridden, most nerve-wracking, most amazing time I've ever had in my entire life. It has been earth-shattering in the most amazing way, and I would do anything for that little boy. And you don't understand it until you actually get into this world and you actually like become a parent. You can't understand what it feels like. And my whole life, I just strive so much to be a part of the club, the mom club. You know what I mean? And it's crazy to walk away and push a cart and see another mom pushing her buggy, and you see each other, and there's just this solidarity. And I feel so bad for all the women who are waiting for that feeling, because it's amazing. It's amazing. And, Remy's doing amazing. He's huge. He's growing like a weed. He's hitting all his milestones. He's doing fantastic. And his eyes are bluer every day. He's a carbon copy of Adam. My genetics didn't fight a chance. I thought they would. I thought dark would be dominant. No, he is blonde haired and blue eyed. He's going to be a gorgeous baby. He's going to be just like his dad. But with that, I want to be really, really honest. The beginning was super bumpy. It was really bumpy. Before we went to the hospital, I had food poisoning. I was so sick when he was in the hospital there. And a couple days after, and the lack of sleep and stuff, like, I didn't give birth. I didn't expect to feel any kind of depression or anxiety. And obviously it wasn't triggered by that. It was triggered by, being as sick as I was, because I was really sick. And I think the biggest shell shock is when I came out of that, I was fine and everything. I was feeling normal, and I was so excited, and I was so happy. But in those first moments, it was a bit of a panic, because my body was not okay, and I was like, how am I going to do this? And that leads into the next part, and it's probably the hardest part to talk about. And it's the part where, when I decided I wanted to make this video, I said to Adam, I'm like, I need to make this video, but how do you want me to broach this subject? Because I want you comfortable with what I'm going to say, and it's hard. So the one thing that was very clear was I have to continue to work. There's no mat leave with this job. There's nothing like that. And in my head, and I think this is more my fault, I thought Adam would be able to do more. And I thought he would be able to, lift the baby and do a lot more for the baby. And I thought, he would take more of like that mother role, and I would still be able to mother role. There's no classic role here, but you know what I mean? And I would work during the day, and he would take care of him. But that just wasn't the fact. That wasn't the truth of what happened. So I've said before, with Adam's brain injury, he can't lift things. Like, he can't lift more than 5 pounds. And I don't know why in my head I had not figured that out and realized that was going to be a thing. And, he was, when I got sick there, actually, that brings another thing that happened. I got food poisoning again, from my favorite Italian restaurant. Anyways, I was actually in the hospital, and once I came home from there, Adam was lifting him and stuff, and it really started messing up his head rather quickly. And I had posted on my personal Facebook that I was looking for a nanny, someone to, watch him for a few hours, a few days a week, which seems totally normal. Like, when people go back to work, kids go into childcare. Do you know what I mean? I was looking for someone who would come to my home a couple hours a day, a few days a week, so I could continue to work. Oh my God. People on Facebook, my personal Facebook, and like people who followed my personal Facebook lost their minds. Shouldn't you be taking care of your child? Shouldn't you be doing this? And it blew my mind. Not only is my husband sick, I'm not a single mom. He still does so much. I want to make that clear. He does so much, but he can't carry him around. So being able to take him to the change table, being able to put him on his chest, I have to put him on his chest. I have to put him in these situations. And I wanted Remy to have like the absolute best care. People lost their ever loving minds. Adam's here. You can come in. I'm just recording my YouTube video.
Oh, cool.
I was talking about the Facebook and the nanny stuff, and everyone lost their mind on me.
Aww.
What's up?
Not everybody knows your story.
Okay, love you, bye. He cares so much. He's always coming through. So I had kind of put this out into the world that I needed someone, and I ended up hearing about this place in town that really helps. And we had brought somebody on from there who we thought was going to work with us full time, but she ended up getting sick, and we actually met someone else through there who is amazing. And there's no one in the world who I would rather take care of him than her. And we've developed such a nice connection. And I think that she's going to be such a huge, important, magical piece in Remy's family puzzle, because it takes a village. And I feel lucky, and I feel so privileged that I am able to have him right up the hill at the house, and I go up, every 20 minutes, every couple hours, and give him a hug during the work days. But the truth is, like, I still have to work, and it is crazy, the mom guilt, the mom shame. Like, I came out of Staples, and a woman yelled across the parking lot. She's like, "Where's your baby?" And I was like, "He's at home." And she's like, "How dare you not be with your baby?" What? I am with him most of all the time. Most of all the time. So, what is the problem that is there? It's crazy. I've never been more guided or more shamed by other moms, and that's a weird thing that they don't warn you about. But circling back to Adam, it's been really hard to look at him and how much pain he feels about the situation. Um, there was a night where I got really sick, and we don't think it was food poisoning as much anymore. Like, I think it was triggered by it, but I have to get scoped through both ends. There's a lot going on in my body right now that's not very good. Um, but there was a night I was in the hospital, and I had never felt less treated like a human in my life. I'd always had great experiences at Woodstock Hospital, but this night was bad. And I haven't experienced PTSD in a long time, but for nights after the night there, like, I couldn't sleep because I just stayed up and cried because I couldn't believe how I was treated. It started with this unbelievable pain in my stomach, but it wasn't like a pain. It was like, I've had a kidney stone, and this was worse. We ended up calling an ambulance because Adam had to stay with the baby, and I was laying on the front patio screaming, and the ambulance people thought that it could be a ruptured appendix. I was throwing up violently. I was like, guys, when I say I was sick, it was the sickest I've ever been in my life, and I have been sick before. I had never been so scared, and it was really busy at the hospital. And this is another one of those situations where I need to lay down the groundwork here so you don't think I'm an asshole. But the last time I was at the Emerge, people knew who I was, and I was really sick, and they were they were asking for photos, which is whatever, but they were trying to get me to do TikToks with them as I'm violently ill, throwing up. And someone else there had called their sister, and their sister showed up at the emergency room just so they could meet me. So I was like, they went to go take me in a stretcher, covered in vomit, poop my pants, and they wanted to put me out in there. And then this is where everything changed. I said, "Hey, this is my situation." The nurse who had taken me over there, I could see immediately. She was like, "Okay, honey." So then they were going to put me in this side room with other people. And the second they pulled me up, this girl, who I apologize that I acted this way, she knew who I was. Her face, she immediately went, and I just started crying. And I'm like, "Thank you so much. I'm just really not feeling well." And then they look at me and like, "Oh, does she know you?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And they're like, "Well, sit with your friend." I'm like, "No, she knows." And I'm crying because I can't explain the situation. So they end up putting me in a hallway. They leave me in a hallway for like 3 hours. I've never been in so much pain. I'm screaming and crying. I've thrown up all over my bed. I can't be in my bed anymore. No one is helping me. I go to a nurse and I'm like, "Hey, like, I think I'm going to die." Like, I actually thought I was going to die. Like, 100%. I was like blood was coming from places. It was not okay. Um, like from my mouth, from, you can imagine. And she goes, "I'm not your nurse." So she comes over and gives me another vomit ball, and I say, "Please, like, whatever." She goes, "I'm not your nurse. I'll get your nurse." So it's been another hour and a half. No nurse ever came. I'm like, I am writhing. I've never felt pain like this. Adam finally sneaks back. They wouldn't let him in because I was in overflow, so he ended up sneaking in. He comes. He's like, "This is not okay." He's never seen me like this. So he goes and gets this triage nurse. The triage nurse comes over. She's like, "I can give you Gravol." I say, "I'm allergic to Gravol. It gives me panic attacks." She's like, "Looks like you're already having one. You might as well take it." And Adam's like, "No, no, no." She starts laughing at me. And Adam was like, "No, excuse me. Like, this is not okay." And then I said to her, I'm like, "I need you to be transparent with me. Like, should I try to go to another hospital? Because, like, this is crazy. Like, I have a lot of blood. Like, this is not okay. Like, I am not okay." She laughs again. She's like, "Whatever. Like, haha, if you want to try London." And Adam can't believe this. And he's trying to keep his cool. And I said, "Can I take Zofran?" She's like, "No, you can't." So she leaves. And Adam's like, "I don't know what to do." And I told Adam, and I was actually to this point, I'm crying, like crying. And I don't cry in public. I don't. And I was saying, I'm like, "You need to make sure Remy remembers me. Like, I can't believe this is our healthcare system. Like, I can't believe that this is happening right now." Like, there was no one else in there screaming. There was no one else in there writhing. Like, I couldn't hear anybody else. And there was this doctor and he was just sitting at this computer doing notes. And I'm like, how can you be there and see me? Like, I know they've seen way worse. I know they have. But when I tell you that my pain was a 20 out of 10 and there was blood coming from a lot of different places, and I physically was telling Adam, I'm like, I just need to go home. Like, if this is it, I want to be home, and you need to make sure that he remembers me. And I'm seriously not being dramatic right now. That is the amount of pain that I was in. Out of nowhere, this nurse who must have overheard everything shows up. She's like, hey, this is for your tummy. Gives me a Zofran, because that's all that I literally can't take. She's like, this is for you. Oh my God. After that, I don't know what happened. That triage nurse, who was horrible, shows up, switched her personality. Here's some ice. Here's some mouthwash. Here's a different thing. I'm like, what's going on? This nurse was battling with good and evil. I don't know what was going on, because once we get into the room, this really nice older lady nurse shows up, takes me into the room. She's very kind to me. The Zofran kicks in. Oh my gosh. When I tell you my pain went from a 20 to a 4, it literally did. And I'm like breathing. I'm like, wow, I'm actually not going to die. That triage nurse shows up. And because I had said that I told him, like, I have a newborn at home. I need to make it home. She starts talking about that because she thought that I was like mentally acting wrong. And it was like, she was concerned about the well-being of our child because of how I was acting. Are you serious? I just spent 4 hours screaming in pain in a hallway of an ER in my vomit on the floor as you guys walked past me. Like, I have never felt like I wasn't even, like, I feel like more people would help an injured animal on the side of the road. Like, I have never in my existence felt like this was the end and that nobody cared. Like, I was going to die. I was going to die on this floor, and Adam wasn't there, and they would walk past my dead body for hours before anyone even checked on me. That is literally how dire this situation felt. And that's Canadian healthcare. I respect all of these nurses so much, and that's something I want to make so clear. They go through so much, and they work so many hours, and it was a busy night. I see a lot of things, and I'm so afraid of the comments that are going to come from this because I feel like I can't put across how insane of a situation this is. I can't describe it to the degree that it was, but the truth is, I don't know. I feel like I'm going to, like, I don't know what I'll do next time if this ever happens again. I don't know what I would do. Anyways, what ended up happening was a doctor came in and she's like, yeah, it's either this or this, food poisoning or this. Touch my tummy. Does that hurt? Nope, your liver's fine. Here's some Zofran. Great, cool, whatever. I went home. I didn't feel right about it. My doctor was closed. I ended up going to a doctor who like a different kind of doctor, and they're like, we're gonna scope both ends. Like, this is happening, and you've had this and this, and nobody scoped you, and so we're gonna be doing that because there's a lot of things in my body that are wrong. I have hiatal hernia. I have a lot of stuff, but that's not what this video is about. What that is circling to is that when I came home from that, I was bent over in pain for about half a week because the stomach issues were so bad. I was like this, like literally bent like this for a week. I couldn't care for him, and Adam was amazing. Adam's mom was amazing, and Adam like lifted him and cared for him. But in that time of taking care of him for me, it really set Adam back. Adam can't carry more than 5 pounds. Everything just makes his post-concussion syndrome so much worse. So that was kind of when it was very clear that we needed help. And it's been hard not feeling guilty about needing help. But the truth is, in America, people have like 6 weeks before they go back to work, and then their kids in childcare. So I we had about just over around a month, I think it was. And now we do have a nanny who is at our house a couple days a week for a few hours, and she watches him, and she has been such a huge part for our family and such a huge part for Remy, and a huge part of taking the guilt off me because I wasn't able to keep up with work. I wasn't able to keep up with my health or myself or any of that because he wakes up every 2 hours. He still wakes up every 2 hours, but he's my world and I love him. And having her means the time that we have together is so much more valuable. And I'm just so thankful for him. And he's so worth waiting 12 years. And he's so worth not being able to sleep. Like, he's so worth it all. Like, I look at him and I just want to make the world a better place for him. Like, I wave at people when I drive, and I go out of my way to tell people they look beautiful, or smile at people, because I just want the world to be a better place for him, because he is, you look at a baby, your own baby, and you know that there's evil in the world, but you see them and you see how much good. You see that there's an opportunity that everything can be turned around. Maybe. Kind of. I don't know. But you have a belief in them, that them just being in this world will make the world a better place. And yeah, the best piece of advice that I've gotten, and it came from our friend Alicia in a card. It said, you don't need to enjoy every moment, because there's going to be really hard moments. And there has been. And I'll be so honest that this past almost 2 months has been the most transformative time of my life. I look at everything that I do in a different way now. And everything I do in a different way now for him and because of him. And parts of me get so sad that I didn't fight harder when I was young so I could have more time with him. Because I'm not a 20-year-old mom. I'm not a 25-year-old mom. You know what I mean? But I also look at who we were. And I think of the babies that we lost. And how we would have a 12-year-old and a 10-year-old right now. No, a 12-year-old and a 9-year-old. And how insane that would be. But how I wouldn't be where I am. And I wouldn't have all of you guys. And I wouldn't be who I am. And I'm proud of who I am. And to find myself, it took finding all of you guys and you guys finding all of me. But I can give him the life now. But I get sad of the time because my health isn't always great, but I'm working on that. And that's the thing I'm taking so much more seriously now that he's here. But the support system around us is amazing. We have Adam's mom and you know, his nanny, who's amazing, and I love it. I go to bed excited to wake up because I know it's his face that I'm going to see, and I can't wait for the memories. And I went through all these moments of understanding where I was just like, it's just not for us, but I'm so glad I didn't give up. And if you're still trying, just don't, because I can't imagine a life that he's not in. And I want more. Oh my God, I want more. And it was funny because Adam was like, well, the surrogacy thing, it takes so long and we should start looking now. And I was meant to be a mom. And Adam was meant to be a dad. And the way he loves him. And like, yeah, he might not be able to carry him around and stuff right now, but that might not be forever. It won't be forever. I know it won't. And I can feel it in my heart. He just needs to keep working on getting better. And I love him. Him and Adam, and I just know he's going to do great things in this world. And I don't want to put the pressure on him, but I just know he will. I can feel it in my heart. When I look in his eyes, I feel like I know him. I feel like I've been waiting for him to come back for a long time. It's been hard the last 7 weeks, but it has been the best time of my life. Regardless of what we've gone through, I'm so glad we landed here. Because Remy is perfect, and I wish I could share photos. I really wish I could. I do some blurred face ones every once in a while, but weirdos on the internet, they still survive, and they're around, but I'm just thankful to be a mom. I can't wait for him to grow up here in the wilderness, have another little brother or sister for him, and they can be best friends. So if you're local to me, no, I'm kidding. I love you guys, and thank you so much for tuning in. And I'm so sorry about the lack of Halloween. It's been a bit of an identity crisis, but these last few weeks have been a huge transition. And I think the biggest thing I had to do was forgive myself. I really needed to forgive myself. I had so many ideas planned, and Chris and I were going to do stuff, but it just, it didn't work out this time. But I know that you guys want spooky stuff all year long, so please just give me a little forgiveness in the comments. Just be like, it's okay. Sam and Colby have been posting Hell Week. We're fine. I have a box from them. I'm going to go through that, so it'll be up on Instagram. But I love you guys so much, and don't give up on any dreams, okay? Because when you finally get them, it's the best feeling in the whole entire world.